Welcome to the SNET webinar. I am Frederick Weiss.
And I'm Mike Hensgen.
Really appreciate you joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about the Multi-location Franchise Winning Toolkit. So let's go to it. So Mike, we have a few different things here. So let's talk about some of these multifaceted challenges. Unifying operations and workflows across locations, creating a cohesive experience for customers, supporting staff with user-friendly features, management, oversight, and reporting across the business, network security and monitoring, integration line of business, applications such as POS, digital signage, and kiosks. So, Mike, what do you get from this looking at these challenges? These are pretty common,
number of bullet points. Yeah, a number of bullet points here. I think they break down to a few things. First and foremost is protecting the brand, right? You know, that if you have a national footprint organization, you know, one security breach at a location in Deer Park, Illinois is going to send shockwaves throughout the enterprise, right? So it's all about protecting the brand. Additionally, another challenge that I think a lot of our IT counterparts run into when they look at their national footprint enterprise type franchisee, franchisor community is that they're often understaffed and overworked. So in many cases, the solution sets that SNET is able to provide actually help lessen the burden that IT staff faces on a day-to-day.
That's right. Excellent. So now that we have identified some of these challenges, let's talk about SNET and all and how SNET can help you and your business. So SNET is large enough to deliver, small enough to care. SNET stands out because we offer the best of both worlds. We provide the extensive features and scalability that big name brands do, but with the personalized service and attention to detail that you would expect from a smaller company. So could you boil that down for us, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. So large enough to deliver, you know, so every day we're competing in the trenches against the Comcast, the AT&Ts, the Verizons of the world from a network perspective. Every day we're battling it out with the Vonages, 8x8s, Nextivas from a UCAS perspective. From an SD-WAN, we're competing against Mastergy, Comcast, Silver Peak, the list goes on. And our solution set in every one of those paradigms competes very, very well. But what separates SNET from the others, those 800-pound gorillas I just described, regardless of the product they're offering, is that we're a much smaller organization, much more focused on positive outcomes for our clients, a much more boutique approach to not only implementation, but also through lifecycle management.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. And let's talk about the Multi-location Franchise Winning Toolkit and what that actually is. We have a lot of different things. SNET is the Swiss Army knife. Basically here, we have our Swiss Army knife solutions. We have a large array of solutions. Do you want to talk about these, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love this slide, right? So not only does it give a very, very clear depiction of the breadth of our solution set, clearly you can see that any technology that a multi-location enterprise might require is represented very, very clearly here. But what I'd like to describe is the depth of those product solutions, right? So we own, operate, and manage our own platform when we talk about UCAS. So it gives us a lot of flexibility when it relates to customizations or integrations with tools that, you know, your community may already be using, whether that's POS, a CRM, things of that nature. From an SD-WAN perspective, I mean, I could go into each and every one of these in great depth, but the ones that typically apply mostly to the franchisee, franchisor type community are managed infrastructure, managed firewalls, and SD-WAN. Certainly, organizations are not relying on applications that reside on a server at the location in Deer Park, Illinois. Rather, they're accessing these applications that could reside in any number of data centers, whether that's a privately owned data center or a public, maybe an AWS or an Azure environment. And those applications need to be 100% available for those franchisees to access so that their businesses are able to run up, to stay up and running most effectively and efficiently as possible. From a connectivity standpoint, we can provide simple broadband connections, cellular backup, or any combination of the two. We're able to provide managed infrastructure to provide the automatic failover so that if you're in a QSR or quick serve restaurant environment and you're in the middle of taking an order, your primary internet circuit goes down, your caller will not feel the pain of a dropped call or even any interruption of that call due to the solution that we're able to provide from SD-WAN and automatic failover to cellular.
So let's talk about the franchise management services, what we provide here. So businesses need business needs assessment and technology alignment with strategic goals, customized workflows and integration, expert implementation with dedicated project manager, implementation engineer, and provisioning specialist. Can you break down these three areas here, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the best way to do that is to just share a story, right? So with a rather large national brand that we are honored to serve, we started out as one of 3 approved UCaaS or voice only vendors. After about 6 or 7 months, corporate IT said, hey, these other 2, we're letting them go. SNET has demonstrated their ability to service our franchisee community in a way that is in line with our expectations, if not exceeding those expectations. And we're hearing rave reviews from the field. Because we got that business and we were earmarked or mandated as the only voice vendor, we had continued conversations with their corporate IT. They shared with us what their upcoming initiatives were, what their goals for the organization were, and we were able to provide solutions that not only fit their needs now, but also future-proof their franchisee community for these upcoming initiatives. Because the last thing they want to do is say to the franchisees, hey, you need to get A, B, and C, and then 6 or 9 or 12 months later say, oh, and you also need D, right? So understanding what their corporate initiatives were and how the technologies required would change pretty dramatically over that 6, 12, 18-month time frame, we developed a solution that not only fit now, but would grow with them and support those initiatives down the line. And it was in large part to our project management and all the people that go into that project management success story, including the implementation engineers, our provisioning specialists, not mentioned here, our client technology advisors. But again, it's from the top down, from our CEO to our newest hire. We are, in fact, large enough to deliver, small enough to care.
And speaking of our technology advisors, we'll jump into that in a second. We have the handoff to dedicated client technology advisor, the 24/7, 365 monitoring, maintenance, and customer support, and unified, scalable technology fully managed by your expert SNET team.
Yes, absolutely. And, this is the second part of that story that I just told. The reason that we were able to earn the business for not only the UCaaS, the managed infrastructure, the SD-WAN, the firewall capability, the cellular backup, and vendor management for their existing primary internet circuits was due in large part to the work of our client technology advisors. Not only were we very closely aligned with their corporate IT, but we were also very closely aligned on an individual franchisee basis. So, from the top down, from the smallest franchisee owner with 1 or 2 stores up to the biggest franchisee with, 70, 75 stores, all the way to corporate IT, we were very strongly aligned with the brand. And it's because of that strong alignment that they look at SNET as a partner, not just a vendor.
And powerful boutique solutions for multi-location businesses, innovation in franchise technology. So we have a lot of different stories here, Mike, if you want to go into these.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the story that I just shared was, in fact, Marco's Pizza. Right now, they've got about 1,250 locations, give or take now, given the locations that we've just brought up in Puerto Rico. But as I mentioned, we do everything from a technology perspective for these stores. Any Marco's Pizza store, regardless of where they are located in the United States or abroad, has SNET solution from a technology perspective. Follett Bookstores is a very unique situation in that not only is it a pretty good size opportunity, 900 plus locations, and these are the bookstores that you see in college campuses, right? They're college
Right.
just UCAS for these folks. But given the size and the dispersion of these locations nationwide, we actually beat out the incumbent AT&T for this business. And one of the main reasons we were able to win that business was because of our ability to deliver our solution to all 900 plus locations in right around 8.5, 9 months. So, at the high time, we were doing slightly over 100 locations a month. But what's unique about Follett is that upon conclusion of the voice deployment, they called upon us to do an IT closet cleanup. Well, we're not in the IT closet cleanup business. And they said, well, we understand that, but your ability to manage a project of this size and scope warrants that we at least speak with you about it. So what we did was we went to our nationwide partner community of smart hands out there, enlisted the support of folks in that arena to do those closet cleanups. And then we scheduled and project managed all the way through to completion, much to their delight. And then last but not least, Familia Dental. So what I'll point out here is you've got your QSR, quick serve restaurants, you've got large retail, and you've got medical. All of these are wheelhouse type opportunities for SNET from a technology perspective, given the breadth and the depth of the solution sets that we offer. So again, we're successful in any number of these arenas. We look forward to future opportunities that fit the profile or come close to the profile of these organizations that we've highlighted here, and we look forward to much more success in those arenas.
So let's talk about the SNET white glove experience, the SNET Swiss Army knife in action. So franchises require a unique approach to their technology that encompasses the complexity of a multi-location organization while simplifying the operations of each individual location to streamline the franchise. SNET Swiss Army knife combines tailored solutions plus expert service plus white glove support, which equals multi-location franchise success. It's a pretty simple formula here.
Yep, absolutely. In any number of those examples that we just provided, whether it's Marco's Pizza in QSR, whether it's Follett Bookstores in large retail, whether it's Familia Dental in medical, we've come across any number of wild, wild west type situations, right? Where the technology might be, 15 years behind, or it's a hodgepodge of providers, or multiple providers on a phone system, premise-based phone system that could be 20 plus years old. We were able to come in regardless of the current state and put them all into their approved future state. Again, to protect the brand, and B, to lessen the burden of IT management to support those one-off or wild, wild west type situations.
Exactly. All right, Mike, we are at the Q&A section. Q&A. So let's see, we have a few different questions coming in. Wow, we got a lot of questions. We got time for about 3 questions here.
Okay.
I'm going to pick this one at random. How can SNET help me secure my business and stay on top of industry standards and regulations? Thank you very much for your question, Mike.
Okay. So without knowing what specific vertical or industry your business, is in, I would say we would start out with a conversation around what your security concerns are, right? So in regards to our security solutions, they're all through Versa Networks via SD-WAN and managed cloud-based firewalls. Right out of the box, our solution set is stateful firewall, right? So just putting the box in is some level of protection. But there are going to be industries that require a next generation firewall. There may be a situation where you need unified threat protection and unified threat management capabilities in said firewall. And many of our medical companies or medical customers require that for HIPAA compliance, right? Certainly those folks that are in, financial, the financial arena, whether they're private wealth managers or traders or folks that work for various pension funds or et cetera, they require a whole nother set of compliance requirements, all of which can be addressed through the solution sets, the security solution sets that SNET is able to provide.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go to two more questions.
Yes, sir.
Can you go into more detail about how SNET helps maintain a consistent brand image and experience across locations? Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
No, it's a great one. Again, it's
Yeah.
protecting the brand. It's not, in my world, protecting the brand is not just a data breach situation. It's also customer experience related, right? Certainly if someone's calling a pizza store with POTS lines and 20-year-old Avaya partner ACS phone system, the likelihood of a failure is far greater than hosted UCaaS solution over a primary internet circuit with an automatic failover to cellular, right? So again, I think it all starts with a conversation, right? Understanding what the challenges or concerns that you as a franchisee or franchisor might be having, and then addressing those concerns one by one with potential options, whether they be from SNET or another, but at least we're having a conversation and we're getting the wheels turning to get you in a place where you need to be to protect the brand.
Thank you, Mike. All right, we have time for one last question.
A good one.
Okay. What is the custom integration process like? That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, so custom integration. So working on one right now. And it's not a franchisee, franchisor type environment. It is kind of a multi-location in that there's dispersed workers, but it is a single entity. But they have a rather niche CRM that is very specific to the theater community or organizations, non-for-profits that have patrons, i.e. folks that make donations to keep that entity moving forward. And it's good size, about 200 users, about 40 of them need the integration to this specific CRM. They went to a number of the 800-pound gorillas, and the 800-pound gorilla said, no, thank you, no, thank you. Or, hey, why don't you give us about $20,000 and we'll start working on it for you. Well, they brought it to us. I gave it to my developers, which are in-house. We have all of our own development talent in-house, which again gives us that leg up, much more control as it relates to these customized integrations. But I got him a demo account within that CRM through the help of the potential client or customer. And later on that week, he actually logged in and showed me a click to call right out of that CRM in the demo account. So, it's not $20,000. It's not 4 to 6 months. It's more like $2,000 and 4 to 6 weeks, right? Again, we're much smaller, much more nimble. We make decisions in hours, not days or weeks. And, I go directly to my developers with the technical documentation that relates to API creation or API development. And they say yay or nay. And then they tell me how long it's going to take. And then depending on how many folks are involved, users that are going to be using the system would dictate how much it's going to cost for us to develop that. Because oftentimes, rather than taking a one-time upfront, we can oftentimes put that into the agreement and have it spread out over the monthly recurring.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to the beginning, the large enough to deliver and small enough to care. So yeah, thanks for
customized solutions, not only from a technology perspective, but also from a budgetary perspective, Frederick. We're much more nimble than some of those 800-pound gorillas out there.
Exactly. Thank you for stating that again, Mike, because that's really important to bring up. Really appreciate it. Well, we're at the end, everybody. Thank you so much for your questions. If you want to learn more, please go to snetconnect.com/simplify. Love to connect with you and talk about some more of these things. Really appreciate you taking some time out to join us. Again, I'm Frederick Weiss.
And I'm Mike Hensgen. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks all. Take care.